Hello, Saturday stream. I thought I'd do this one in the afternoon rather than the evening because, it's nice to again do them at different time zones for people in different time zones. So, yeah, I'm on now. I'll be on for at least an hour. If we have a really good conversation going, and it's lively and fun, I could be on potentially 2 hours, but, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything interesting to say? Oh, the good news is radiation levels are back to normal, it would seem. The thing that was completely not to do with me, this time. But yeah, if you have a look at that, look on that dosimeter on the wall, see it's background levels again. That's the one I always look at, and that's the one I suddenly started seeing shoot up yesterday when it began raining. Ceasefire says, God, you look handsome as hell. Thank you very much, I guess. But, wow, that's the thing, Lena, because remember the CBRN police came to give me a visit, but the thing I'm very responsible with it. I'll try not to joke too much, because again, yeah, I know people go, oh, in this video, you should have had gloves on when you were handling that or whatever, and you didn't, but, I washed my hands afterwards. But the thing is, if you're handling something that's a sealed check source as well, gloves won't make a difference because it's a sealed check source, Yep, I'll put them on for you. They're there, but I need to give them a little clean actually because yeah, the problem with these is obviously you can notice fingerprints and all that on them really easily. But what do you mean how to use the filter and the GP5? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Yeah, there you go. So that's the CT12 with the mirrored sort of outserts on. Obviously, these don't fit the S10 and the S10 ones don't fit this mask. This is not a Myra gas mask, EFE. I am insulted that you would think that an Avon rubber mask is made by Myra. Did you get it, Stug? Because that's a great price. Not this early in the day, Fuzzy Farm fan. Although Weapon Collector was on Twitch last night having a drink, so I was on there for watching a load of that with him and some other people. Also having a drink watching him. Oh, that's a shame, Stug. If that's still on there when the stream ends, what I'll do is I'll go on the Discord and I'll see if there's anybody that doesn't have a mask who's in the UK. And then if it'd be possible to sort them out getting that mask, but Vladimir, technically in Australia, can't you get the ADF 10, which is pretty similar because it's the S10 done by the thing. So right, if you're asking about the GP5 and a filter, I'll just go over the basic GP5 stuff. So GP5s are pretty damn cheap if you've not got one because they were mass-produced Soviet civilian masks, technically called the Shum 62, I believe. Like the mask's actual factory designation rather than being known as the GP5. But GP5 kit is normally on eBay or Amazon like $10 to $20, maybe $30 pushing it, with the bag and filter. I personally would avoid using the filter that came with the GP5. If a GP5 has been stored properly and is in good condition, and you got a new GOST filter for it, it's a very good mask, but there's a lot of ifs and buts with it. That's why, I don't like recommending it so much for that purposes, but, I hope it won't, Vladislav. I think, though, where they've closed down the Chernobyl plants now, other than number 4, all the fuel would be gone from them, essentially. And number 4's got that massive containment dome they built around it. I don't actually know, Shoot and Scoot. You'd have to ask some of my Australian viewers that are really into Australian gas masks. If Sophistry ever comes on during these streams, he'd be the best person to ask. Lena says, I got my Trump stimulus check a few days ago. What do you think I should get with a $120 budget? And you personally recommend what, gas mask-wise, Lena? I reckon months yet, Alf. I reckon it's going to be a gradual lifting because the UK has said 3 more weeks of strict lockdown, and then that could carry on. But I reckon they'll be doing it, ease some measures, ease some more measures, but I reckon it'll be maybe over a year before everything's back to normal, if that even is normal after that. Right, Richard, let me check for you that Bud K is selling real MP5s, because there's the French one that isn't an MP5 that lots of people mistake for them that aren't as good. So let me, Bud K, yeah? I do know about Bud K because they do a lot of knives, don't they? So let me bookmark Bud K. I like how trending products at the moment is gas masks, although some like steampunk fetish type mask is actually trending, even though it offers no protection. Amazing. Right, let's have a look at this one. Sadly, that is not actually the MP5. It is the French ARFA, or whatever it's called, that they've got pictured. The reason you can tell is the voice diaphragm is different, and a few other things. You might be able to get one, and it still might be good. $30 isn't too much, to shoot on that if you get a filter with it. I've already answered you that GP5s are normally $20 to $30 or pounds. But yeah, if I've got it in this room, I've got the yellow version of that French mask, so I can show you that one. But I will say though, the satchels these come with are fucking excellent. So there is always that. If you did buy that, at least you get a really durable satchel. I bought it, Mobe, from Ecotest's own website, although you can get them on eBay. So let's see if I can just get that up for you. Ecotest Dosimeter therapy. There you go, you can buy it here. They're €179 on their site, so they've gone up a bit, but there you go. It might just be because there's been loads bought recently. Thank you, Sylvia. I would give more, but broke. Thanks for the help. No problem. Hope you're keeping well and everything. But yeah, so going back to that MP5 question, what you will actually find is probably one of these frog masks. See how smeared that looks on there? It's because the rubber on these ages like shit. Yeah, the voice diaphragms on the French ones are that kind of hole-looking design rather than the kind of rings like on the French one. Sorry, on the Polish one. The main issue of the French ones is see how hard and plastic-like it goes with age, and how the rubber deteriorates on the lenses and everything. Because yeah, apparently a lot of the people saying MP5s were shit were actually getting the French ones and blaming the MP5s. But I was saying this is the weird thing, because you wouldn't think Poland in the 90s or whenever it was, coming out of communism, they would make a better licensed product, but they did. So yeah, Maskpol, the Polish company that did the MP5, they actually made them to a higher standard, which I actually find quite funny. Like the rubbers age better. I've not got the MP5 in this room handy, I don't think, because otherwise I'd get that to show you. But I do. Or actually, is this the MP5 in here? I might have the MP5. I might be lying. Yeah, I think I have got the MP5 here. I can show you the difference. Aussie Gaming says, any really cheap but alright gas masks? Maybe Polish CM3s, Polish MC1s, Czech CM3s. Yeah, this is the filter I was asked about the other day as well, because it's one of the really strange ones. Now this is a NATO threaded one as well. Oh, it says it is, but I think it is actually GOST, this one. With these old filters, if they say RD40X4, that's GOST. If they say RD40X1/7, that's NATO. However, some of them, we found out, say they're NATO and they're still the GOST threads. But yeah, to compare the MP5 to the other mask, because that's the bit you're interested in. Again, you can get the French one in black, but so exhale valve covers look pretty similar, but obviously the voice diaphragm cover on the Polish one is like a ring type design, not a dot design. As you can see, the Polish one has definitely aged better, but the main point to make out of these is, for example, see this bit? That's still proper rubber on the Polish one. It still feels like soft, supple rubber. The French one, see that? It's literally turned into plastic as it's aged. So yeah, the main, and obviously, look at that, it looks like shit. Sorry, what was that, Arnold? that will be the size, the two. The easy way to tell the Polish one quickly is if you can see it say Mask Pole there, because obviously that's the Polish company that makes them. Let me flick the lamp on so you can hopefully, I'll dazzle myself, but there we go. If you can see Mask Pole there, that's definitely the Polish one. Daniel says, thank you very much, Daniel. He says, what are the two tabs on the side of the mask? What, these bits, do you mean? Those are for the strap system. So how it works, because it uses the weird French strap system. I'll take my glasses off first before I break them. Pull that over like that. Then you go down with these and you hook them over there. It's the system the French always seem to use on literally all their masks. Going back to like World War II, maybe even World War I can't remember. Because I've never used them, but yeah, there you go, there's that. And then where did I pop that filter that was in here? Did I put it back in the bag? No, it's hidden behind the French bag. Yeah. Plenty of GP7s on eBay, but the condition might not be great because GP7s. I'm not a fan of the GP7 anyway, but so yeah, this is the MP5 as opposed to the French one, and yes, the MP5 is much better. Ah, cool, Ren. So yeah, but I think that's the thing, isn't it? If people are buying it, it's a bit more of a crapshoot where, you know, the probability you get the French one in good condition is pretty low. Oh, cool. What sort of combinations? Right, Ultrix? Yeah. So for the people in the States saying they've got their Trump bucks and they want to buy a mask, let me see if there's any stuff in the US still available. The problem is obviously it's hard for me to find out what's in the US because I'm in the UK. But does Sportsman Guide have anything in? Because Sportsman Guide I've found seem to be quite good for a lot of decent surplus masks on there. I like how gas masks are now one of the top things shown on their site. Right. They have got Afras or whatever they're called in, but I wouldn't buy that for very much. The only mask they've got in now that's actually in stock now, I wouldn't really recommend breathing through the filter that comes with this, but you know, there is at least this mask, which is going to be a Shum 41 derivative. That apparently this is a Romanian one, but it's quite hard to tell with a lot of these unless you're really into collecting Soviet masks and Warsaw Pact masks. The only other thing they had in, but this is very expensive for what it is the M51. And again, due to age, these might not be that great, but 4A1s are very good. ILOP, as in Israeli 4A1s. Yeah, Boris bucks, Arnold. Unfortunately, yeah, we're not getting Boris bucks like, you know, the Trump bucks where they just literally... The thing is, right, Trump has really fucked up throughout this whole thing. But what I noticed is he's got a massive amount of the black American vote now. And there was loads and loads of black people in America, you know, African American, whatever you want to call them, the US term is, on Twitter literally saying, the thing is, Obama was all for change, but Trump's actually sent me a big load of money. So I'm voting Trump now. And you think, Trump, as much as you've fucked everything up, you are quite clever in that regard, you know, with the thing of it has to have my name on the check and all that, so they know who paid it. And you can see why Trump's done it, because there's going to be a lot of people, if they're quite poor, who suddenly get that and say, Trump sent me money, I'm voting for Trump. Literally bribery. Why are they killing you, ILOP? That's not good. Why are they killing you? Or are you saying figuratively? Right, thanks for the point, Mason. Obviously, I don't know because I'm not in the US, but like I said, be careful. The only one I've said about on there is don't get the French Alfres or whatever they're called, advertised as MP5s. But yeah, with most surplus, as people say, it's hit and miss. Oh, right, inviting people over when they shouldn't. Yeah, exactly. There's lots of people doing that all around the world at the moment, sadly. But yeah, having fucking corona and social parties when we need to isolate. But when all the situation returns to normal, camper, I don't know. I reckon, like people have said, it's going to slingshot in the other direction when a lot of the corona stuff is over, because lots of people are going to mass sell masks that they didn't need. Yeah, if you donate, shoot and scoot, you can do. What I can do is I can get up the thing that's shown me who's donated so far this stream, which is quite useful for me because obviously I can't actually see live, you know. But yeah, it's for donators anyway, basically. It's just a little perk for people that donate and get on the Discord. Anyway, let me get the dashboard and everything back up to the stream. But there we go. Right. Oh, the Irish Army Fuzzy. Let me send you some things. Well, they have the FM12 that looks very similar to this, I believe. It's just got the drinking tube there on it and like the non-reflective bits on it. So it could be an FM12. I think some of the Irish, it might be like the Gardaí or whatever they're called, the Irish police, but they sometimes have the C50 gas mask if I put a picture of that on. So if I get an image up of this one, they sometimes, I think, have the C50, but I don't know if that's a military thing. Remember, I've already said for Discord you need to have donated. So Fuzzy, is it either the FM12 or the C50? If not, I don't know. But, have you got any glasses cleaning spray, Banny? But that works fine on gas masks. I've got a bottle here, look. So probably won't work very well on the French Alpha because it's shit. But like, let's say with this one, spray some of that on there. Get this. There you go. So that's what I'd recommend. Just, you know, glasses cleaning spray. The thing is with gas masks, just think of what you'd use to clean regular things you might have that are similar. I think that's the easiest way of just applying it. Yeah, I wouldn't pay that for them, David Brennan, but lots of masks are silly at the moment. Cheers, Shoot and Scoop. Right, post your Discord ID then. But I'm glad you like the videos, but yeah, you've given me the bribe. So now you've given me the bribe, you can get on. That's how it works, because we're very corrupt here. I'm only joking, but it's just more of a perk for people that have donated. Toby said, got a German GM30 yesterday. Just need to see if I can get a 40mm DIN. I think it is for it. Yeah, DIN filters fit it. And thank you as well, Briggs. If either of you got Discord, post your IDs. You can get anti-fogging spray recurve and put that on the inside. But if not, apparently washing up liquid works. If you get like a little bit of dish soap, wipe that across the inside of a mask, like let it dry, it does create an anti-fog film. Remember, the Discord is for the people that have donated, not the people who are just randomly in the chat. But yeah, so I'm waiting for Briggs and Shoot and Scoop to send me their IDs. Right, there's Briggs one. Right, let me get him in. Right, so go to home, friends, add friend, Briggs. Right, doesn't like your one, Briggs. Let me try putting it in a couple of times because sometimes Discord is just shit with Let's yeah, definitely. Oh, is it at Briggs? Is it definitely got the at in front? Let's try it with the at. No, it doesn't like it with that. So it is just Briggs 6. Can you try copy and pasting yours again, Briggs? Just because it doesn't seem to like it at the moment. No problem, Rico. Have you got a Ragnar Lothbrok picture, or is it just a similar sort of Viking Norse-looking person in your picture? There's a Patreon, Noel, if you want to do it via Patreon. The link's below there. That's the only yes, in theory, Hilsey. But to give you an example, last night, you know, when I went out and measured that, I had to wash my orange hoodie twice because I thought, right, it could be contaminated. I'll take that off and put it straight in the wash, you know, without any other clothes. Just wash it in the washing machine on its own. Washed it the first time on like a 40-degree fast wash. Took it out, got a Geiger count on it. It was still making it tick. Put it in again, did it on a longer, sort of hotter wash. Then it was pretty much back to normal. Right, let me try again, Briggs. It could have been the capitalization. Still isn't liking it. I'm just going to keep trying for you, Briggs, but it keeps doing the check capitalization, double spaces, and all that kind of thing. I don't know why, because if you're literally copying and pasting it straight in, it's worked that time. So it's Discord being Discord, where you can put somebody's name in like 10 times and it will just suddenly work. Right, as soon as you accept it, Briggs, I'll send you an invite. Did the other guy get back to me with his ID? Shoot and Scoot. Let me control F in the chat and see if he posted his ID. Shoot and Scoot. No, his last comment was the super chat. So Shoot and Scoot, as you've donated, don't forget to give me your ID. Yeah, so I'm saying how anybody that wants to donate can just do it via Patreon. Just literally $1 on Patreon or whatever. It's just for anybody that's donated at all, they can get on there, as long as they follow the rules on there. Because again, if you're like racist or a dick to other people on there, you will get banned from it. But, you know, most people are all right. Just sadly, some people we get joined there are like, oh, let me talk about how great Hitler is and stuff. All right, thank you, Shoot and Scoot. Let me add you. There we go. Yours worked pretty quickly on like the third time of pressing enter. But yeah, Discord is very funky sometimes. I've already answered you, Helgel, about that. 50 for an S10 is a very good price if it's in good condition. Sorry, my nose is quite itchy today. I don't know why. I'm not like the inside. I'm not like picking it, just the outside. My nose is really itchy. And John. And that's worked. Right, so Aero Chocolate, invite to server, and then Cherno Inferno, I'll invite you in a second once you accept the thing. I don't know, I've never tried it, Toby. I've not got a GM30, but if there's an FP5 filter handy, but sadly I can't see any handy, I was going to say what I do is I get my GM30 8 and try it on that. There we go, invite to server. Yes, it does, David. You'd ideally, though, want particle filters for it, not what filters they call it, not the paint filters like the vapor filters. But yeah, even any filters on that are better than nothing. I don't know, Archie. Let me Google it. I did ask some friends of mine in real life if, you know, ones that have got Geigers, and I trust them to do it. And they all said it was slightly higher than normal, but not, you know, anything super high. If I go news. There's one from Forbes from yesterday. I don't know if they say where this is. I've not read the article here yet, but that's good, Peach. But yeah, if you look at this one, like it says, Chernobyl fires drops radioactive ash, send air quality plummeting. Fires that burn in the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine over a week has been put out by firefighters in rain earlier this week. The new report finds elevated levels of radiation in the area as well as the capital of city of Kiev. Obviously, it doesn't mention in the UK, but the rain yesterday was certainly hotter than it should have been. Right, cool. Let me quickly check my Gmail then, Noel, and I can sort it out from there. Yep, there we go. I'm going to send you an invite on, actually, because I can see you here, if you've got your ID, post it in the chat here, or I can just generate you an invite. Yeah, I should tell you what, I'll just generate you an invite and PM it through Patreon, because that will work properly. Right, invite people, copy your code, message. There we go. Right, I've sent you a Discord ID on Yeah, sadly, I've not got a proper thing for doing like gamma spectrums floof. I've got this thing, but it's not all that reliable for doing it, even though it in theory should. But yeah, I'm sure there might be some physics channels in the UK that have all that. No, I've closed the Facebook one, Steve, just because I used to get so much spam through it that there was no point having it. And it used to be that you could get YouTube to auto share videos to Facebook when you put them on, and it doesn't even do that anymore. Yes, rubber can crack on it, Puffin Guy. The best thing I've got to recommend at the moment, because Son of Sono recommended it, for fixing gas masks, you could probably use like bike tire repair stuff, but this stuff, silicone adhesive. So that you can just like, you know, essentially kind of put it over a bit like, you know, you're spreading butter on toast. You know, gently kind of smooth it over the rip or whatever. I've got a Twitter, yes, Susie. It should be in a description. I use Twitter now and again, but I don't really comment on Twitter much. Only just now and again if people want me to do an announcement on Twitter, and I just use Twitter to PM some people. But because I find collecting them interesting, ceasefire. Right, here's the problem, M1A2. There aren't many cheap Geiger counters that are actually good. The only one I would actually recommend that's really, really cheap, that works to quite a good degree, is this. You know, the ones that go in smartphones? Because you can either use that with an Android or an Apple, assuming it's an Apple that shares the phone jack. And these are quite good. Because, you know, it will definitely show you if you're above background. Right, see you, Orphan Annie. Hope you get those groundhogs, if that's legal to do or whatever, but if it's legal, good luck on the groundhog hunt. Yeah, good idea, Daniel. That might be very good, useful information, people. I reckon it will, Photo, or when all this is over, yeah, I reckon people will be trying to get back any money they can. Yeah, it'll be like the 12 days of Christmas Bortis, won't it? But instead it's, you know, 12 months of 2020. Coronavirus and some radioactive rain. Yeah, rubber on any mask can go bad, really. No, you don't, Susie. Or at least not in the UK. I did have the CBRN cops turn up, well, a single policeman turn up on, was it Tuesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday. But it was more just asking me about the samples, you know, because the Geigers themselves are considered harmless in the UK. But obviously, if you've got, like me, calibration check sources and all that to check they're all working at different degrees of radioactive levels, they wanted to check I knew what I was doing with them, really. Sadly, well, at the moment, there's not going to be any airsoft shoot and scoop because of coronavirus. But a couple of years ago, I bought an airsoft gun, wanted to get into it. But the nearest airsoft site only runs on days I work. Like once a month on a Sunday, so pretty much impossible. No, it is just a 2-band one, Steve, but it's apparently, a few people said, because these need such a low voltage to run, you can never get them to run on a Geiger like that. I think you'll be fine, Tim, considering the levels that were in it where I was. It was about 3 times background. As much as that might sound scary, that's very low. The main thing is don't drink it, but I would wash them just to be safe. Let me look up the Dutch K1. I'm not familiar with it off the top of my head. Oh, is that the Model K? Is that the one that takes the 60 and 40mm filters? Yeah, cool, it is. Yeah, that was cool, but I've never used one. I don't know, Darfax. I really don't, I'm afraid. I have no idea. That's a good idea, Steve, but apparently it is just literally because these diodes don't work. But you could definitely use a 3.5mm thing to a different, you know, 3.5mm. Yeah, a few people have suggested it, Briggs. I'll get around to that. But Problem is, Vortis, I can't have my glasses on under the mask, so it makes reading some of the chat quite difficult because I'm short-sighted. Right, I think I know the ones you mean, Gray. I'm shit with Arduino type stuff, but you can get some of these totally pre-assembled. But you mean something like this, don't you? If you just wanted one to literally just check these work, I mean, if you just wanted a Geiger counter that simply ticked, you know, and you were manually counting the ticks to know if there's radiation, these are fine for the low price, but I would recommend personally going for like the $50, $60 ones where they come with the screen that's calibrated for them. But yeah, just to prove these work, I'll get some more tonight. So there you go. I've got some Autonite crystals in there. But yeah, so these do work fine. But yeah, if you didn't know what these are, that's Autonite crystal, if it wants to focus, which is like you know, like natural little bits of kind of uranium crystal. There's plenty on eBay, Gray. I think originally they were I want to say they were Japanese made originally, and then what ended up happening was the Chinese just did rip-offs of them. Yeah, it's a comfy jumper. Right, yeah, what I was going to show you though, because this is cool, is that, I don't know how well that's going to show up on camera, but see how that fluoresces? Literally glows green. Yeah, the problem is getting the light to an angle where it's not going to but yeah, to the human eye this looks really, really bright green, but what if I do that? But yeah, the problem is obviously the UV light is picked up too much by the webcam, but I'll have to do a proper video on Autonite at some point because it is really nice stuff. But again, it's a good check source because obviously, if I put the beeper on this one, in most countries, you can buy stuff like Autonite or Torbanite perfectly legally, and it's like really pretty stuff, you know, and it's can be quite active. But yeah, so Autonite and Torbanite and all that, they're just literally uranium-based minerals, you know. But yeah, weirdly, in some countries I've seen, you can buy Torbanite and Autonite completely legally, even if you're not allowed pitch blend, you know, like uranium or. But you know, that's not the case in the UK. In the UK, it seems all this stuff is legal as long as you're responsible with it. What, the lid there? Do you mean where I had that on? Yeah, I had. If you noticed, I had my hand like that, so there was no way the lid could seal off. But it's one of those quite tight specimen jar type things, you know, where you have to sort of prise that off, and then it will kind of airtight come off. Because I definitely keep those sealed in plastic. The reason being that those crystals, as well as the fact, obviously, if you dropped them on the carpet and dust went everywhere, that would be pretty dreadful. But the main reason is they give off radon gas. So if you don't have them in an airtight container, they're putting quite a lot of radon into your room. Right, night or goodbye anybody that's there off. I've probably missed a load of comments there, but I don't think we're going to have a load of giant man-eating spiders walking about now. I mean, spiders, scorpions, and all that are barely affected by radiation, so they wouldn't mutate. It would just do nothing to them or eventually kill them. Up to you, Tim. Oh, I know you weren't asking me that question, but yes, Lena, it would. This is a funny thing, right? During World War II, the Germans spent all this money and effort developing, like quite sophisticated for World War II Gen 0, or it might have been very early Gen 1 night vision. The Soviets just got really, really bright lamps to destroy the German night vision. Because, just literally turn on the floodlight, point it where you think somebody might be sitting with night vision, and it burns out the night vision. Because Soviet engineering. Oh, we can't afford our own night vision, comrade, but can we make bright light to burn out German night vision? Yes. I've probably missed a bit of your comment there, Tim, but what you're on about? Buying stuff on eBay to put on your face? I don't get what you're on about there. Yeah, that's with really modern stuff, isn't it? Auto-gating, Dr. M, but a lot of Gen 1 and even Gen 2 night vision didn't auto-gate all that well. Because, that's the nice thing with some of the really advanced modern night vision is it's very sophisticated, isn't it, in terms of computer chip type stuff in it, so you can't damage it by looking at a bright light or whatever. No, I've got one radio, Nate, and I never really use it. It's one of those Baofeng ones or whatever, like one of the fairly decent Chinese ones that was cheap to buy, but I'm not into ham radio or anything like that. Yeah, I've done exercise, secure mindset with some of the masks on before. I've never really found it that difficult, which is weird because I'm asthmatic. I said and that's the point. I'll take my brown inhaler today because I've not done it yet. But the point being that I have never found breathing resistance normally with masks on a problem, even when exercising. No, that one ILOP was one of the ones that came as a set. Let me find your thing, because I'll show you the ones I kind of recommend, even though I've not bought one. You can get ones that are essentially pre-assembled, but they come with the screen attached and calibrated, which I think is what would be what most people would want. Is this the full thing all assembled? Because if it is the 40, yeah, this looks like it. Right. You could actually get an Arduino code for this one if you wanted to put a different thing on. Right, I'm just going to say these obviously are not properly electronically shielded. So high levels of radiation, they'd be completely junk. However, if you just wanted to know if something was above background to a degree, they'd work quite well. Basically, that Kajou Geiger I've got, that was one like this, but it was just all built into a case. Let's see if the Kajou Geigers are actually... No, not coming up. But yeah, the Kajou Geiger I reviewed is basically like one of those just built into a case. But, yeah. Oh, you can always clean them if you get a mask from eBay. You can always just disinfect them before you wear them. Marty, thank you very much. He says, have I been blocked? No. I can see your comment there. He says, I'm trying to ask you about how I zero my dosimeter pen. It's an auto mess dosimeter 1.5 sieverts. Right, let's have a look. Auto mess dosimeter. Is that the German ones, isn't it, auto mess? But you're not blocked. But if you made a comment on a regular video, I wouldn't have seen it just simply because at the moment I get too many comments. So now and again I check the thing. Let's see if I can work out what model it is. Is it a digital one or a pen type one to start with? Because it seems Automess do a whole bunch of different things. I'm seeing this one you just did, Peter, but I've not seen older ones. So yeah, I'll wait for you to get back to me, Marty, on that, because the only Automess I think dosimeter pens I've got aren't the electric type ones. They are these proper nice old retro ones. then these you zero using the tool, provided. So you get this out. I got a battery in here. I hope I've got a battery in here. Let's see if it turns on actually. So yeah, let's say, which model is this one? That's the 500 centigrade one. This pen type measures 1 to 5 sieverts. Okay, so that's the same as one of these then. Although this one says 500 centigrade. 500 centigrade is 5 sieverts. So sadly the light's not going to be good enough to show you on here. But what you would do is, let me get the cap off. Right, what you would do, you need the dosimeter pen unit for it. And these German ones, of course, the Germans had to design one where it wouldn't work with every other nation's one. So you put the dosimeter pen in. One position is to read it. How good I have got a battery in there. You might be able to see that actually, because it's got the light. Yeah, see, so that's actually at 0 centigrade at the moment. So that is zeroed. But what you do, you pop them into there like that, push them down, you look through them, and then you turn this dial to set them to 0. So then I'll set it just left of 0 for you, so you can see I've adjusted it. These are really difficult to show on any kind of camera dosimeter pens, but see, there you go. You can see I've adjusted it just left of 0. But yeah, that's how you do them. It's just simply using the tool. But the problem is, let me see, Marty, if I can find you one of these sets, because sometimes these sets turn up on eBay for not very much. Other times sellers want you to buy these for like 200 euros. But yeah, you need a dosimeter charger as a simple answer to that. Because what really annoyed me, I had one of the really, really nice older variants of this. One of the Fish, or I butchered that, I can't remember the name, but it was, like some old German manufacturing company that did a really nice 0 to 500 Röntgen pen. But where I tried to charge it on some different dosimeter chargers, it blew up the bit in the middle, and broke a load of it. Because German engineering. Yeah, let me see if I can find you one of the sets. Because if I can, yeah, somebody wanting $199 for one, another person wanting like $300 for one. I think you've bought the pen individually, haven't you? But you don't have the charger for it. That will be why. Although saying that, one of the Automess ones, I found it. Is it this one? I'm going to put a listing. If so, you don't need that charger I was just looking at. You need a different type of charger. So, Marty, is it this model? Because if it is, I'll show you the particular charger you need for those. You can charge those with British Army ones. Because yes, I have got that exact model somewhere, but yeah, it's the same as the British Army ones. This is the one that goes to 50 millisievert, this one. It's like the low dose one. But yes, let me know quickly if you can, if that was the model you bought, because if it is, I can link you to the charger for it. I have no idea what you're on about. Oh, Happy Koala. No, never played League of Legends. Right, okay, cool, it is that one. Right, let me just link you to a cheap-ass, and it'll work for it then. Because these are the British Army type ones. Right, there you go. Actually, I'll link you to one that's slightly more expensive that comes with another dosimeter pen with it. So you can use a different pen as well. There you go. I'll demonstrate how you use that one in a second. Thank you very much, Peak Survival. He says, Scott Pro 2 A1, I have just bought 250 of them and they have been auctioned what they were designed to filter. I paid 50. They are sealed but expired last year. Right. Are they the... Let me look that up because there's two types of Scott Pro 2 filters. Is it the smaller ones or the big ones? I know that might not be a helpful thing to say, but is it Let me try and show you the difference. But to filter the Scott Pro 2A1, that is an A1 filter, so organic vapor. So things like lots of paints. Is it the ones that look like this, or is it the chunkier filters? They would work to a degree against corona, but they're not designed for biological particles. No worries, Marty. But no, you weren't blocked to answer your original question anyway. But if it's one that looks like this, it's not obviously 40mm. They're designed for the Scott proprietary mask, but you could probably find a way of taping them onto any masks you wanted. And yeah, because it's charcoal inside, yeah, what you'd need to do is find a way of taping them to a mask, because they run on the little Scott proprietary system that some of the Scott masks use. Cheers again, Marty. But yeah, because it's obviously got stuff to keep the charcoal in, it will provide some filtration protection. But yeah, they're Scott's proprietary ones. Right, so what you want, so you've got one of these, and that's the Soviet dosimeter pen. That one came with, I linked you to. So how you charge these up, you expose the bottom cap. You need to kind of do it on the surface, so this might be hard for me to demonstrate, but I'll try and do it on my knee. So this, you put a D-cell battery inside it by opening it up there. Then what you do, you look into the dosimeter pen while pushing it down onto the contact, and then you adjust the wheel till you get it to the line just left of the 0. Then as you release it, the line normally jumps a little bit. But yeah, there you go. Right, let me see if I can... Black Betty, it's probably just because it's getting moist as you're wearing it and like damp, and then what ends up happening is it just, yeah, starts restricting your airflow more and more. But yeah, let me... Right, assuming this doesn't blind out the camera, which it's going to do, let me put this on a darker setting. Actually, if I use the UV light, it's not going to be as bright. So let's try that. It's still going to be too bright, isn't it? But the point is that you, I think you know how to do it now, don't you? You basically just, yeah, get that dosimeter charger. Up to you, Noob Gamer. The nice thing, actually, saying that about the British chargers, is a lot of dosimeters fit on them. So see these old, like, American ones that are in Rontgens, the old US CDV ones. It's too dark for you to see it there, unfortunately. But anyway, the US, like, Bendix CDV ones, these also fit on here. So you can actually zero these as well. Again, it's left of 0 now, but the point is that, it's, again, I think it'll be too dark for you to see it in there, but the point is that, you know, no, that's no problem. But yeah, the British Army ones I really like because they're so simple and actually work with loads of different brands of dosimeter pen. Whereas, you know, the issue is with like those German ones, that's what I thought when you said Automas, because they're a German company, is the German ones I had to specifically buy the German dosimeter set because the Germans had to be unique, you know. This thing charges the British pens, the American pens, some of the Soviet pens, not all of them. You know, and it's similar with most countries, but no, the Germans built a bloody dosimeter system that only their thing would charge, you know. But no problem. But yeah. Should your Nan says, should I get a Draeger M65 or a Czech CM4 at the same price? I would go for the Czech CM4 personally. I use Brandon Review. It's not in this room at the moment, so I can't easily get it to show you. I normally use my GVS Ellipse because it's quite lightweight and comfortable, which is a half face mask. If I had to go to a really busy supermarket, I would end up going for a full face one, but no problem, Martin. Glad I could help you there. But yeah, dosimeter pens are really interesting old things, but yeah, the problem is without a charger, you can't do anything with the pens. Again, I really like this retro, you know, Soviet or Ukrainian, whatever it is, Bereg Geiger. I just think that's quite cool, where it's got the color scale, not even numbers on it. I wish I had a bunker knoll. I don't, sadly. Let me just check. I've invited everybody to the server so far who That's weird. It says I got a message, but there's not a message in it. Never mind. But big bad channel invited you. Oh, thank you very much, Gray. He said my uncle works at a homemade biodiesel plant which works with methoxide and uses a mask. The issues of filter flying off. Do you have a cheap substitute mask rated for such an aggressive chemical? Right, I'm gonna have to actually look at that chemical up because I don't know what group of chemicals it falls into. But so he needs a good mask and filter system, does he? Methoxide. Methoxides are organic salts and the simplest alkyl oxides. Does it say which? Right, let me see if I can work out what group of filters you need for it. I'll use Google. The problem is using DuckDuckGo as a search now. It's bloody crap at getting good results. So methoxide filters. But I'll try and see if I can actually find what, like 3M or no, I'm just trying to see if right, 3M6098 AXP3 ones work with methanol, bufadine and acetate, but I'm not sure if they're the same stuff. Because they're normally alright, no, that's not about using filters in a lab too. Right. I'm afraid I really don't know which filter group, Gray, you would need for that. Joe Mama said it should be organic vapors. I mean, an ABEC filter is good in the sense that it covers a wide base of things. But you need a mask as well. What type of filters does he have? Does he just use lye? For lye, as in like sodium hydroxide. You can any mask should pretty much be fine, especially if it's butyl. What masks can he get access to? Because this is the only issue. Because obviously at the moment, lots of masks are really expensive. I'm trying to think what would be a good option. They work to a degree, Steve, but ideally you need a particle filter. eBay at one point, Noob Gamer, they were on there. Yeah, so Israeli. I mean, yeah, if you could get an Israeli 4A1 or an Israeli M15, and then you just got any, for example, 40mm. Let me link you to like a filter that would be suitable, kind of thing, just so you can see what I mean, and then you can try and find one in Australia or whatever, or wherever you need it. Obviously, at the moment, filters are super overpriced and everything, but okay, so this filter's in date at least, but so that's the sort of filter you'd want by the sound of it. Yeah, but like what Joe Mann was saying is a good point, that you don't want a flimsy filter, do you, if you're working with something nasty. But anyway, yeah, what I was just going to show you is I was going to show you this actually ticking away properly, with something to make it tick. So there's that, and it's still in obviously the green at the moment. But if I now get, let's say, a nice bit of torbanite, then put that near the air egg. Try to remember which side the Geiger tube's on. That side. There we go. That's enough of that. But Why did I shave my head 7 years ago? I always shave my head. It's not like I shaved it once and then the hair never grew back. But yeah, anyway, the point I was making is that Torbanite and Autunite and all that make the Geigers tick quite nicely. Because, Noob Gamer, they get UV damaged, unfortunately. Masks made from, like, grey latex, as soon as sunlight hits them, they will go browner and browner. So see that? You can see where the sun was directly hitting it there for a bit. You can see on that side where it was obviously laying where the sun couldn't hit it. So you can actually, if I get the lamp on again, if that doesn't make it too bright, but you can actually see from the colouring on this where the sunlight hit it and didn't hit it. You can actually see, you know, like the gradient change. How do Geiger counters work? Pretty simple, Joshua. Well, simple, I say simple. You have a thing called a Geiger Muller tube. Now, I probably have some spare ones laying around. Yeah, right. So you have a Geiger Muller tube. And a Geiger Muller tube basically is got a wire running through it, anode and a cathode, you know, positive and negative, but it's filled with inert gas. When a radioactive decay hits the tube, it penetrates the tube, it ionizes the gas in the tube. The Geiger counter's electrical circuitry counts it. So that's how it works, simply put. But yeah, the point is that it's got a lot of circuitry and everything, but the simple point of a Geiger counter is it counts things striking the tube. And a Geiger Muller tube isn't all that different in many ways to a what was I going to say? I was going to say, is this an Automess one? It is a German one, but now the problem is, Daniel, is space. A lot of it. We've been clearing up space in a lot of the other rooms, but also the problem with putting gas masks on shelves, unless they're all in satchels, sunlight and that, as I said, can damage them. So what I'm doing quite a lot is, when I've got space for it, is buying more and more ammo crates, so I can actually see all the masks in an airtight, you know, completely dark crate. They work in a slightly different way, Gray. What do you mean, the little beeping one I had? Or what? Dosimeter pens themselves actually use an ionization chamber with a quartz fiber on it. They're actually simpler but more complicated. But I hate children, Trent Dabs. I wouldn't want to be a teacher. I mean, I like my cousins, you know, kids and all stuff like that, you know, when they're family. But no, I couldn't stand, like, you know, screaming, shouting kids. But yeah, dosimeter pens work on a different thing. But modern little Geiger dosimeters, like the pager ones, they work using a Geiger Muller tube, yeah. And if you want to see the craziness of how science advanced, in the 1980s, this was a cutting-edge Geiger counter. Now we have them this size and probably getting even smaller that do the exact same job. All right, cool, Danish Prepper. How many snakes do you have? But yeah, cool, go feed your snakes. But yeah, this covers a wider range of radiation levels. Has two functions, you know, a cumulative dose and rate, and has an alarm function, all that. The Plessy just simply shows you what is currently being exposed to. And because this is in centigrades, you need 1 millisievert or 1 milligray of radiation in the air to even get it to move. No, Tim, one's from the 80s, one's from the late 2000s, but British Army gas masks would have been issued and then surplus. Yes, Punch Monster, if the quality's improved quite a bit since the early GSRs, it's probably quite good. But yeah, I'd say as a GSR disliker, the thing is with the GSR is apparently the later gen GSRs were quite good. You know, it's still got some of the flaws that I'd say the mask doesn't need to be as bulky as it is and stuff like that. But I think you'd find it fine, you know, in terms of rubber quality and all that, as long as it's one of the later ones made to a good standard. And now they're made by 3M, aren't they? Because 3M bought out Scott. So yeah, I think you'd like it fine for that price. It doesn't sound bad at all. £100 for, you know, especially with the price masks are at the moment, I think that'd be all right. Because again, a lot of my issues with the GSR was simply that it failed the test Britain wanted a mask for, but then we went with it because it was cheaper than the M50. There isn't a best one to buy, Joshua. It depends on the shape of your face, what you want the mask for, and everything else. It's one of those how long is a piece of string questions. You know, if you had an unlimited budget, then maybe an Evon FM53, but I've never used one. But, you know, yeah, I'd go for it, Punch Monster. I've got a couple of other chemical suits in Noob Gamer, but not those. That sucks, Grey. What was that, like an email hack or what? But I imagine there's a lot of stuff like that going on at the moment, isn't there, when people are stuck at home? No, I don't have a World War II GP2. Oh, that's interesting, Punch Monster. I'm glad expanding knowledge you find the videos interesting. No, I think it washed away eventually, Boldentalski. Background levels, as you can see according to my wall dosimeter, are completely back to normal now. You know, like 0.2 microsieverts, like they normally are. But yeah, that was the one I was looking at the other day, you know, and as the rain started, it just kept going up and up and up. And then I went outside, you know, and it was 3 times that level out in the rain in the puddles. So, Suka Bliat said, what filter would you suggest if I can only buy Chinese filter or gas mask, the military one or civilian? Military Chinese masks are generally better, but there are some all right Chinese civilian masks. But if you're going for a Chinese military one, FMJ05s, FMJ08s, FMJ09s. Again, I don't know if there is a best company brand, and I mean, I really like Avon masks, but they more do military and police stuff. 3M does a lot of, obviously. 3M, MSA, they all do industrial masks. No, what I'm going to probably do, Fuzzy Farm Fam, is donate to that old bloke walking laps in his garden, because every one I've looked at so far, I could never tell if they were legit or the other, you know, like charities at the moment. Because what I wanted to do was do one of the ones where you could donate for them to make PPE equipment. But I think I might just donate to that old bloke because, you know, that's quite an established charity thing now, isn't it? You know, the old man walking laps of his garden. Apparently Avon C50s are very good, Luke. I've got an M50, and my main complaint with the M50 is it doesn't have 40mm filters, and that's what the C50 does. A bandit says, afternoon. But yeah, I Grey, I'm very careful now to use, like, you know, different passwords for every site, 2-factor authentication if they let you do that, you know, and all that. Depends on the Scott mask, David. So, a lot of Scott masks are good. And modern Scott masks, any of the masks that they still make, are made by 3M, essentially. So yes, they are good. But Rex, if you want to get that, go for it. But worst mask that isn't cheek filter, I would say my Pewter mask, which is a Chinese one where the straps ping off and it's made from such a soft latex silicone material that it can't even support the weight of a filter. Also, it doesn't have a proper intake valve because it was just designed by a moron. DP2. The DP2 is the Rolandus. The DP2 is the ionization chamber, isn't it? I've always wanted one, but I've never been able to buy one. But yeah, so it's just a really, really hot bit of strontium-90 in it. But yeah, no, I've not got a DP2, sadly. I've got a DP63, I've got a DP5, but yeah, the DP2 is actually an ionization chamber. But yeah, the reason they had such hot ones is because it's like a doomsday level meter. They always used really high levels. What's interesting though, if the DP2 is an ionization chamber, it must have had quite a wide range of energies, because I found with a lot of other ionization chambers, strontium-90 doesn't register on them. because they're it has to be like higher beta energy than what strontium-90 gives off. Not like dose, but the actual like physical energy they measure. Right, I'll stay on a little bit longer, but a bandit says, "Do you got any bayonets?" Yeah, I've got quite a few bayonets in that drawer down there. But and the spammer's on here who doesn't even realise I'm a man. So there we go, Tom. Fuck off as usual. It's one of those spam bots that is advertising some dodgy spyware website that keeps coming back with new accounts, trying to get people to click on his profile. As I already said, Noob Gamer, I bought them on eBay. If you can't find them there, I don't know. Maybe Allegro.pl or whatever the Polish site is. Leroy Jenkins. There you go, Brandon review. Oh look, there's another Tom spam account straight back. Are there any mods on at the moment? Because can you just keep blocking Tom as he comes back? Actually, it's a Chinese spam bot by the look of it. Chinese quality products, so nice. I don't even know what a Telegram chat is, Maxim. Alright, thanks, Nate. But yeah, just we're getting spam bots on at the moment. I would prefer full-face military ones, but it depends what you want the mask for, as always. And another one, Tom's come back and hidden by Nuke, thank you. Yeah, you've been around for a while, Daniel, and you've donated. Let me deputise you. There you go. At the moment, it's back to normal, a bandit. I've not gone out in the garden and looked at puddles with a dosimeter, but yeah, the point was I'd love to get a DP2 thing at some point, but DP2s are very hard to get outside of Russia. Fuck's sake, Connor, what is it? Well, I mean, I suppose if people are on the beaches and they're really spread out, it's not a problem, but if everybody's packing on the beach, that's fucking stupid. Cool idea, Punch Monster, but yeah. I try and avoid shopping as much as possible at the moment, because of contamination risk from other people, but yeah, I already have Discord Maxim for donators. The World Health Organization a bit corrupt, aren't they? We won't go any further into that. But yeah, The Who is a cool band. But that's cool, Peach. Russian MM1 masks, Richard, $20 to $30 pounds. They're not very valuable. Due to age, a lot of them are. The rubber's gone a bit bad on them. No, it is still The Who. It's just the Wuhan Health Organization. One Justy man. Yeah, all those big body things. It's like League of Nations back in the day and whatever else. They never work as intended, do they? Because some nations have too much influence on them. Always want them to do what their country wants to do. I have no idea what you're on about, Brandon. It sounds a bit creepy. I don't understand all these young kids saying, "Can you be my dad?" It sounds pretty fucked up to me. It sounds like a fetish, in all honesty. Like, good morning, son. I hope that's not the case, but I'd be very uncomfortable if little kids were saying, "Could you be my dad for money?" Wayland says, Motorhead, best British band of all time, got their shirt from your home country. Cool. Yeah, I like Bomber. What's some other Ace of Spades? The Hammer. I'm trying to think of Motorhead tracks I like. Yeah, rest in peace, Lemmy. At least he lived a long time despite all his excessive drinking. It was a brain tumor that got him in the end, wasn't it? Not like liver failure or whatever you'd think it would be, but Human SVD says, United States Air Force here. No, the M50 isn't going to be replaced for a long time. Good to know. Cool, Bandit. If anything people buy on Teespring gives me and Bart a little bit of money, Bart's the guy who draws the stuff. I'd have my S10 hoodie on today, but I had to wash it twice yesterday because it got contaminated by the rain and was actually making a Geiger counter click. My favourite tank, probably the Challenger 2, because I'm a bit boring like that. If you mean World War II tank, probably the late generation Sherman or a Sherman Firefly. It says 95 people have liked the stream on my one. Yeah, but don't forget to like the stream if you've come on and not liked it yet. Yeah, we all know that, David. Surgical masks are better than nothing, but, you know, not very good. I think it's just going to be like probably communications equipment built into them, Punch Monster. I mean, in theory, what I could always see happening, I don't know how far off it is some sort of like ballistic helmet type thing with a mask built in. You know, a bit like sci-fi kind of power armor helmets, but where you've got a respirator, like optics and all that built into a helmet, rather than it being masks, night vision, and all that being a separate thing. I don't know how far off that would be. But, you know, if you could have like one of these thermoplastic modern helmets with, you know, like night vision goggles built in, a respirator bit built in, some sort of face guard bit built in. IS-2 is a big tank, Sukabliat, but yeah, IS-2s have such a massive gun on them that, you know, armor doesn't really matter, does it, with an IS-2's gun? Silicon it might, butyl I really don't think it would, folks, because silicon is quite weak when it comes to rubbers. Yep, there's even body armor behind me. There's a flak jacket there, look. I've got an ECBA back here. Hang on. If I can pull it out without knocking a load of shit over. I've got some deactivated ones, Joshua, but you can't show them on YouTube streams anymore. And to get a license to get firing ones is such a pain in the arse in the UK. No, I wouldn't bother. But there you go, get that on. I've got a couple of other vests as well, but they're not in the room. But the ECBA I like because it's actually quite lightweight. Now let's see if I can get that button done up. I think you're meant to start with a button, aren't you? But obviously I've not. The reason it doesn't fit me very well is I've got this on underneath, where normally I just have it on with a shirt. But yeah, ECBAs I like because you've got the plate there, the plate in the back, you know, the Kevlar soft filler, and they're actually comfortable. Nah, flight helmets are a bit out of my price range, I'm afraid. As much as some of them look really cool, they're a bit out of my price range. And at the moment, I'm trying to, you know, reduce the amount of stuff I have rather than collect more. Do you have... you've just got, like, the woodland cover. I've got a woodland and desert one, but I've got it in the MTP at the moment. When I bought this, it came in the desert one. Annoyingly, the woodland design was an older design, so it was really difficult to get the liner into it, because that's what I wanted to do, so I ended up just putting it in the MTP liner. But, yeah, when I bought my ECBA, it came with all, like, the desert liner on. You know, it was quite scuffed up. Yeah, the interesting stuff with a lot of this stuff, Shoot and Scoot, is they still make use of these, don't they? Apparently that's why there's not as many of these on the surplus market of everything else, because the hard plates for this have been reused in quite a lot of the armour, haven't they? Where they've got, like, the bouts that have all these bits in. I'm not sure what the proper name for them is, but I noticed with my Osprey armour, there's, like, one of the pouches that attaches to that where they go like that in them. You know, just kind of bulk up the armour. But, yeah. It's kind of nice that these ECBA vests never kind of fully went away. Johnny says, I can honestly recommend the Scott Pro Mask FM321 looking for reasonable price respirator. Civilian version is from good military mask, easy to service and good spare parts available. That's good. Let's have a look at the Scott Pro Mask FM3. I've got the Scott M98, which is excellent. so it's that family of masks, isn't it? What's the FM Freeze variant? Is that still standard 40mm? Yeah, it looks good, but I don't know how it really varies from my Scott M98 or the other Pro masks, but yeah, it looks good. No, I've already said bulletproof vests and all that are perfectly legal in the UK. I think a lot of people think our laws are stricter than they are. The thing that I was saying was funny is I got so many comments on that video the other day about the police, right? Where people going, oh, Britain's a police state. In the US, nobody would ever, the police would never turn on jails. There was a channel called Cody's Lab that was a science channel that got raided by the FBI because he'd done videos on nuclear material. So, it's... I never quite get that, my country's better than your country type shit that, you get in all these YouTube comments. But yeah, especially when some Americans, I have nothing against Americans. I love the US as a country, but it's weird when you get Americans boasting about how something would never happen in America when it literally has and they don't even know it's happened. And yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, he got raided a while ago because he did a video to do with uranium ore and like enriching uranium ore, I think it was. I'm not sure how much of it was a joke video, but the FBI did not take it as a joke from the sound of it. They don't wear this in the movie Full Metal Jacket. The US style flak jackets they wear in Full Metal Jacket, although that's the British one that's based on the US ones, but yeah. Sounds very cool. But yeah, they're overpriced all over the world, I think, flight helmets. But yeah, I imagine in some places they're really expensive. And Tom the spam bot is back again. Yeah, like I said, the good thing is, like, with me, it was not serious at all. They just literally came up to ask me some questions and then said, goodbye. That was all it was. And like I've said several times, because there was people going like, "Oh, you didn't have the right to tell them anything. You could have told them to go away." But I've got nothing to hide, So I would much rather the police think I'm not dodgy at all by, they can look at anything if they want to, and then realise that there's probably nothing worth looking at, than going, "Oh no, you can't come in, you can't see my stuff," like I'm hiding something when I'm not. If you can get one for that price, Joe Mama, that's a very good price for an S10. Brandon keeps spamming really weird questions, so he's getting a timeout. If he carries on, he'll get a block. But like, why did I start wearing glasses? I've worn glasses nearly all my life. I don't get what your fucking weird questions are, Brandon. I can't in the stream, Joshua. It depends. I've already done videos on them, so look up the old videos. There's no point redoing a video on something I've already got a video on. All right, Michael. I've already done it, Richard. Look how to search up old videos, please. It does get very frustrating when people constantly ask me to do a video on something I've already done. Oh, it's more comedic truth, just the weird questions he's asking, like, why did you start doing this? Why did you stop doing this? And it's like, that's not even the case. Yeah, that's fine, Joshua. It's just, a lot of people constantly ask, do a video on this, do a video on that, when they've not even looked. Whenever I visit somebody's channel, I always check before asking that sort of question. From that angle, it sort of does. I can see that, but no, from the front, it doesn't. But I can see from the side why you think it looks a bit like Pyro's mask. Which one, Daniel? I think Brandon that I've timed out is a kid that keeps asking silly questions, yeah. What bandit is in the MP40 submachine gun? I've never shot one. It's pretty cool looking, isn't it? It's pretty iconic, but PPS 43 was a better submachine gun, changed my mind. I certainly agree with you there that it's important at the moment, Ghosty Boy, because you never know, you might need to protect yourself from, I don't think so, VS. I'm pretty sure these are always meant to go on top of, like a DPM shirt type thing. I reckon Shoot and Scoop probably some of the smaller countries in that regard. Switzerland might be quite prepared. I don't know, but they've not done all that well with coronavirus, have they, Switzerland? But in general, I'd think things like maybe somewhere like Singapore, because if they've got, they're a very small kind of island nation, they've got the budget to spend on the military, they might be quite prepared in that regard, where often bigger, more populous countries sort of fail in that regard. Well, that's different, Briggs, because that's when you then put a jacket over the top of it. But in terms of in regular conditions, you'd have the France and wear a shirt on and then the ECBA. Well, as I've said before, they had very cool uniforms, but politically they were cunts, weren't they? That's my opinion on Nazi Germany. But they had some very good camos, like the 44 dot and all that. Favorite camouflage pattern at the moment, out all the ones I've got, the Soviet SS Leto pattern, which is kind of a reimagining of a World War II German one. Yeah, well, my granddad said, Daniel, he nearly got shot during the war when somebody next to him dropped a Sten and it went off. It like emptied half the mag or whatever, just bouncing around when somebody dropped it, because obviously open bolt with no real safety system. But something like the PPS 43 is excellent. The problem is they were both crap and good submachine guns in World War II. $10 to $20 or pounds M1A2. Like, some of them will cost more than that, but there's lots of like Polish, Hungarian, various communist nations steel pots that you can get pretty damn cheap, just because they were so mass produced. You can also get these new Chinese helmets for not very much, which are like modern produced steel pots. I know that's not a Cold War one, but let me have a look for you, M1A2. Just see if I can get the Polish communist helmets up. Not very much. Actually, does Sportsman Guide do helmets? Because if they do, they're probably quite cheap on there. Let's have a look. They've got Soviet surplus helmets for $22.49 on there, Hungarian surplus for $22.49, Polish ones for $22.49. For some reason, they've got British Mark 6 helmets on there for $81, even though they're absolute shit helmets. The Bulgarian M72, I think, is pretty cool looking, but that's $31. But yeah, Sportsman Guide has a lot on there. But personally, I'd just go for like one of the Soviet ones or whatever. Oh, you're in the UK, are you, M1A2? Yeah, for £18. Let me just go on eBay and find you one on eBay. Let's have a look for the Polish helmets, because often they're a decent price. Right, there you go. There's the Polish Cold War helmet, or one of them. And this is like 25 quid with the postage included. Let's see what the Yugoslav helmets cost, because I know Yugoslav wasn't part of the Warsaw Pact, but the Yugoslav helmets are actually very well made. There's only one from Germany at the moment. Aryan helmet. I'm just trying to see if there's any of like the more obscure communist ones. You can literally for $12.99 get an M72 helmet. There you go. There's no problem with reenactment, because that's like a historical thing. Because reenactors don't go around murdering people, do they? That's the point. If you mean did I ever, not yet, but I'm sure once all this is over, I'd love to go. Background radiation, Tim, is normally always gamma rays, because it's gamma rays coming from the sun, you know, what they call cosmic rays, and a bit of gamma energy coming from, like, just, you know, radium type stuff and whatever. Radon is alpha, and radon can be quite bad for your lungs, especially if exposed to it over long periods of time. I'm pretty sure it did here, Dominic. If you saw the video I stuck on last night, it was much higher than it normally is. Right, I'm going to go off in 5 minutes. So if anybody's got any quick questions and all that to ask them now. And then, you know, I'll answer you. No, I'm just closing all the old tabs that are open that I don't need open anymore. You'll have to check all the descriptions, M1A2. It will say in the description if it's, some are one size fits all. Some might say somewhere down the page it's a medium or a small, so just read properly. But the point is you can use eBay just to search similar terms and find one that fits you. A collector, Giashio, although that they sometimes overcut, don't they? Like yesterday, because I like collecting Geiger counters and all that, I knew that the radiation levels were shooting up. But one of the things I like doing personally is buying some of the stuff that's coming onto the market cheaply to assess if it's any good or not. Because somebody asked about it, Mr. Slayer, earlier in the stream. I love Bakelite, Wayland. My favourite Bakelite little Geiger counter, as we were talking about the other day. This one, DP63. Yeah, look at that lovely Bakelite, eh? Oh, that's interesting, Sean. Is that to protect them from them? But it makes sense. Yeah, I'll stream tomorrow. I don't know what time yet. I'm going to go get some food as soon as this stream's over. For some reason, at the moment, I've just been eating a lot of rice. I don't know about anybody else, but I've just found rice is like a really good kind of easy-to-do food, you know, and then you can put other stuff with it if you want a bit more nutrition with it. But I find just, you know, boiling some rice or sticking some rice in the microwave is a really good way of just getting some... Let me have a look at that Colt 609 unpainted. It's doing that bloody thing where it searches more than I'm trying to... Cool. Sadly, a lot of the ones coming up don't look unpainted from what I can see, but it looks like it's pretty interesting. Yes. Right, anyway. Right, the current US military one, I think they use several. The really nice one is what's called the Radioactive 100 and 110. Because I've wanted one for yonks, especially because the US CDV variant you can own as a civilian. I don't think it's banned under ITAR or whatever it's called. But I need to really fucking set Google to be my default search engine, not fucking DuckDuckGo, because DuckDuckGo search is crap. But right, not CDV, Radiac 110. Then see if I can find it. It's called something like the 110V. Here we go. RDS 110V. Let me get that up. See if there's a proper article on it. But RDS 110Vs are really, really nice. It's one, again, where I've been looking for this sort of family of Radiac type things. There you go. There's one of the proper sites that stocks them, but they can be either vehicle mounted or carried in a backpack, but they have an insane radiation range. You know, there's a couple of variants of them, but it's the only Geiger counter I know of where it can measure up to 10 Rontgens equivalent of beta energy. As in, you know, you can put it on a really, really strong source and it won't overload. Whereas the problem is lots of Geiger counters like this can go up, I think, although it says inaccurately, you know, to like 9.9 sieverts. But with beta radiation, it can only actually go up to 1 centisievert, I think. Yeah, like 10 millisieverts. Because if you put like beta over 10 millisieverts on this, it just saturates the tube, because the electrons just flood the tube. But yeah, it's 1:30. I'll be off now. But thanks everybody who donated. Thanks everybody that's been sensible. We got a few spammers and idiots on, but for the most part, this has been a very good stream. So I'm going to go get some food. But yeah, have a good day. I won't be on later today because obviously I've streamed at this time today. But yeah, see you all. Have a good day and stay safe, because obviously at the moment we live in pretty uncertain times, don't we?